We're now going to go to animals and actions. So you can see that written up here on the top here. This is playing with Tai Chi, the movements from Tai Chi, and that is to create energy and flow and to open all the energy lines running through the body so you have integrity in what you're doing. You may choose to do something different, but I'm going to share with you what I know from my passion for movement through Tai Chi, and I'm just going to do it. You can do it standing and seated. I'm going to show you both, but I'm going to start in the chair so you get a chance to see that. Okay, so if we're here, all right, the first card that I'm going to pull up, which it was set up for, I'm going to take the wood element first. And this is a cricket. And the sound that the cricket makes when the temperature gets just right in the air, it starts to rub its wings. And there's like, it's like playing in a what do you call it, washboard. When you rub, you've got a corrugated piece and you're rubbing the stick across. That's what happens to the wings. One part is corrugated, the other one is the stick piece. And that sound that the cricket will make is a ch-ch-ch-ch-ch, but it goes so super fast. So it sounds like one sound, but it is a ch-ch-ch-ch. And so the sound from the 6 healing sounds for the wood element is shh. And we're going to have ch-ch-ch-ch-ch as a possibility. Okay, so that's if you want to play with sound. And we're playing with color because it's the wood element, so the color is green. And we have the cricket. This is 3 pushes. So from a seated perspective, turn my seat a little bit for you. I am actually sitting on the, not on the edge, but in front on my chair, so I'm not using the back. And I'm sitting so my shoulders are over top of my hips, my feet are in line with my knees, everything is lined up so it's nice and straight, and my head is lifted on top of my shoulders. So now this one, you could do that by taking the ear and just pulling up. And if you were sitting kind of a little bit down, as soon as you pull on the ears, you can see how it'll actually lift the center of the sternum and bring your posture into alignment. And that's where straight would be. All right, for the 3 pushes, we're going to make 3 different hand positions, and we're going to fall into our feet and push back. And all the time when we fall into the feet, when we push down into the foot to come back, it actually sets up the cerebral spinal pump. Just has a little curve where the tailbone drops and creates a little bit of roll on the base. And what that does is it's nourishing the spine and all the fluid that can run up to the brain. All that just because we push through the feet. Okay, the next part is our hands. We have 3 hand positions. The right hand is going to come up, and the left hand is going to go into the wrist. So the first and second finger are going to go into the wrist. And what happens here is the hand is going to turn so that the palms can go to each other. So they start away from each other, and then they turn to face each other, and then they come away from each other. Okay? This little action is actually sedating emotions, calming emotions down. So if you've had a really stressful day, this is a great way to do that. In the Tai Chi set, we repeat this little action many, many times in the set, which means we can go through, we can calm, then we open up some more energy lines, calm a little bit more, open some more energy lines. It's a lovely little massaging action. Okay, that's the first action we're going to do with the hands. The second one is the palms go towards each other. So in the card deck where you saw the energy ball, you could hold on to the ball and leave your hands apart, or you could take the palms and you could go palm to palm and express out. Either is fine. What you'll find is there's this lovely fluidity that happens with the shoulders and the arms. When they don't touch, you get a little bit more flexibility, which might be important, might not. Either is fine. Okay, so that's the second arm. Then the hands come back, And the palms are going to go forward. They're going to go out, and then they'll come back, and you'll be starting again. But what you'll notice is, as my hands go out, palms are forward, fingertips up. When you get towards the end, the hands change position, and then they come back. And what happens there is you change pelvis alignment, and you change shoulder and jaw alignment. Okay, a lot going on in there. So the 3 pushes have new meaning for you now as the crickets. Okay, so we're going to go fingertip into the wrist, and we fall into the feet. Turn the hand and separate. Palm towards the palm. Open the hands, and 2 hands go out. And comes back. And you just keep repeating that whole pattern. It's called the 3 pushes. Lovely, lovely sedating. If you decide you don't want to be here, you could go into the center palm of the hand and change there. And that one is just hooking up with the hand chakra, which connects to the heart. So it may be that that is important for you, is to have a heart connection. And you can put the hands there. Okay, so let's do it. I'm going to add the sound. And I know for a lot of people, it's really difficult to make a sound while you're doing things. But what you'll experience, and we do it in Touch for Health when we're doing the sound balance, we make different sounds in order to bring balance and flow into the body. And even though it feels really, really weird or hard, it is so empowering. So I just invite you to keep that in mind. So if I was going to use the shh sound, so we're going to go through shh, go back. And let that go. Lovely. All right, now if I was working with a group of kids, they're not going to want to know all that information. But what you could do is you could go finger into the palm or finger into the wrist, whatever. You could go in, pull, bow and arrow back, out, and push. And those could be all the instructions that you give. Just fall into the feet and back. We do this pattern as a standing pattern too, and if you're really interested, then I would check out the Tai Chi wellness videos on my YouTube channel, and that would be Michelle Greenwell. Seated is a little bit more informative and a little bit easier because you don't have to think about the feet. I'm going to move to the fire element, and it has a little monkey on it, okay, a chimpanzee. And this one, the sound is he. So we'll use that at one point. Color's red, and it's calming monkey thoughts. So we did talk about that by being able to put the fingertips on the forehead. But this little action, I love to do this one. So the palm is going to go flat out to the back. This is my right hand. And the left hand is going to stay in the front. Elbows are going to drop. The left palm goes up, and the right hand goes out. Open the left. Palm comes in and pushes through. Open. In. Through. Open. And through. So now, as we have whole body movement happening here, you probably feel the spine is turning, which means every vertebra is sending information through the central nervous system, which is creating flow, which is providing the opportunity for all the muscles and tissue to link up together in conversation and movement. We have the palms changing position. So here we have one palm up, the other palm is out. They change. This goes flat, this comes up. Sorry, this is going to pull in. And then the palm ends up. Well, this one's out. That again is changing pelvis alignment, shoulder alignment, jaw alignment. All that little action. And then we have this lovely, I talked about it in some of the other videos, especially breathing, expansion and contraction. That's how you build and store energy. You expand, and then you contract. And then expand, and then contract. And I am doing this seated because you can get a really good feel for that spine rotation through there. You have a lot happening with your connection of the feet to the floor without even moving the feet. If you wanted to know more, that would be called Ward Off the Monkey. And it has its own move. And so you can look that up on the YouTube channel for Tai Chi Wellness under Michelle Greenwell. Okay, if you wanted to take the hands separate because that was way too much information, it goes palm, you're going to get a pie. You bring the pie in past your shoulder and send it out to schmuck something in the face. Bring it back in. Palm comes up. And right here is in front of lower dantian, which is where we're storing energy. So you've got expand. You probably feel your spine sink. Expand. Sink. Expand. Sink. Expand. Sink. So you may notice that. Okay, so let's try the other side so we're even. Expand. Sink. Expand and sink. You'll notice the spine rotation here. You'll also have the expansion through the shoulders. And then pull in. So if we add a sound, so you breathe in. He. Open. He. Open. He. Open. He. Open. And that's, have you done that for a few times? Calms the monkey thoughts because you've got so much going on, it just immediately the whole system just comes right out. And the thoughts might be racing through your head or the repetitive list building, that all kind of disappears. The next card I'd like to share with you is from the metal element, and this is the snake. So the sound is S, and this is called creeping low. All right, we have a lot that's happening with this little part. Again, I'm going to stay seated. This actually would be a snake action is the snake creeps low into the water and it's a rebirth and comes back out. And so we can do it standing where you're going to go really low to the ground and then come back through. But that's a lot to think about. So what I'm going to do is just share with you mostly the arms because again, you're going to have that spine rotation and you're just going to have so much going on in the body. Okay, so this one, the hand is going to come out. It's actually going to be in a cone and it's going to come out to the side. Okay, so just so you can see, it's to the side here. Because I know on angles it looks different. My elbow is not locked, it's bent. My wrist is bent over. And the other hand is out with the palm up. What happens with this one is a lift and then a sink. And the hand goes down, rolls through, the fingers open, and then push. Okay? So one hand, right hand. This goes down, it comes through, fingers open, and stop. That opening, for those people that are familiar with the lotus and the symbol of the lotus flower, for rebirth, opening, advancing, expanding, the fingers are closed and then the flower opens, and then the fingers stand straight up, which is changing the alignment of the pelvis there. So we have sink down into the feet, shout at the feet, this comes up, open, stand. All right, the other hand out here, it stays there, the palm turns to meet that lotus flower, they pass each other, and this one is pushing down. And that is going to push your tailbone. Okay? Now, can you do it on the other side? That's the question. So typically in the Tai Chi set, we always have the whip, that's called whip to one side. It always comes from the one side, so I'm actually going to change it. So we're going to close here. This is going to come underneath, pull it up, lotus opens, and out. So again, you have sink. I was working with kids, creeping low like the snake. You can imagine the snake goes down into the water, comes up, opens its tongue, and waits. Okay, the other hand. So the hand is going to come to meet. They come up and push down. Okay, so from here, it's through and up. For a pattern, I would do maybe 3 on one side and then 3 on the other side, and you can add the sound. So you'd be and you probably would have enough air go well past the movement. All right, and again, adding the sound makes a transformation inside. If you tend to be soft-spoken, a little bit shy, making these sounds can really change your opportunity to be able to express yourself. So let's go to the water element. And the water element is the possum. And the reason that we chose the possum here is because the babies, when they're hanging on their mother, they actually say choo, 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 is the sound that they make. And this is a choo that we use for the 6 healing sounds. This is very close to ward off the monkey or changing monkey thoughts. And this is actually called brush the knees. So you have a similar action going for the pie. Your hand comes through, it goes out, send the pie, schmuck somebody, then you come back in and sink. I just make that a nice, easy, the cream pie visual allows the hand to remember where it's going to go. All right, comes back in and down. But I like to think of it as roll to open, drop the elbow, send it out, let it float back in, and let it sink. So you're recognizing patterns from some of the other things we just did. The arms are changed slightly, which changes the alignment of hips, shoulders, and jaw, as well as all the joints. Okay, so that's the brush knee part. Let's try the other side. So we've got in, through, in, sink. Let's open, in, through, goes back, sink. Open, in, and sink. Now, of course, you know that that's going to have to go with both hands at the same time, right? So we start open. It's in, through. Now you're going to see how it matches up to the tailbone. Open, a few cracks in the spine, comes in, and as the hand goes down, you'll notice that it's going to allow the cerebral spinal pump, base of the spine, to engage in a pumping action. Open, so it's really close to ward off the monkey. Here, that palm going down changes the action. Open, sink. Open, sink. Now, if I add the sound in, color's blue, chew. Open, chew. Open, chew. Open, chew. And you can set it up. I like to do usually 8. You kind of get going and then you just kind of get into it. It's pretty meditative. It's a lovely breathing pattern, gets the breathing mechanism all working in the expansion, contraction, building energy and storing energy. All right, so that gives you the possum, brush knees, water element, color blue, sound is chew. It's a lot of information in there. All right, and let's move from there to the earth element. This is the owl. The sound is hoo, and the color's yellow, and this is spreading the wings. So now we have a couple of ways we can do spread the wings. One is the right hand turns to go up towards the ceiling, the left hand goes to the floor, and at the top, the hand is going to turn, come back down, and push through. And I know you're probably going, oh my goodness. I'm going to move back just a little bit so you can see my hand as it rises up. That didn't help you at all. Let me go the other direction. Come a little bit closer. Okay. So, hands separate. The right hand is going to the top. When it gets to the top, there's a little bit of a spine rotation as the hand turns. We call it turning the light bulb. And then you're going to wash the table. And then come through with a brush knee, which we already learned. Okay, so you have separate. So this is where the spine gets nice and long, head is tall, and there's a little bit of spine rotation when you get towards the end. So you turn the light bulb, you wash the table, and then you brush the knee. And we only do this one direction, so we're not going to flip it around. So you have separate, spine rotation, bring that around, and pass through. Now the lovely thing about this is we've got to add that hoo sound. So you're going to breathe in, let that go, hoo. Goes around, breathe in, and out, hoo. Now notice my voice went up and down. I'm not really balanced for that. Okay, so breathe in. Hoo. Hoo. Again, you've got a lot happening in the shoulders. You're opening the middle dantian, or the heart chakra. Some people refer to it as that. Heart center, the sea of tranquility. You're opening that up so that everything is transferring up the spine. The whole nervous system is engaged so that everything leading up to the brain is feeding information about the wellness of the body. This spiral action is a specialty piece about Tai Chi. We spiral everything, and that links tissue up through the fascia so that information is traveling at the speed of light, but also there's a link of everything to work together in that spiraling action. And you notice as we keep going back and forth, and that just pumps the brain to just be so much more powerful, and also to engage all of the muscles in the body. One way that you can assess yourself after doing these different exercises or activities is to go for a little walk and notice the difference in your walk from before you started. And you may notice more of a swing through the leg. You might notice more swing through the arms. Might be a little bit more space between the joints. One of the things about the Tai Chi is the more you expand and contract the breath, the more space you put in the joints. That gives the frequency of the bones. That means they have their full capacity to be as enlightened and as true to their tone that they need to be. And the spiral action is lovely for washing the bone marrow. Kind of wring out the tissue, release it, wring out the tissue, release it. And so it's washing the whole system. All right, those are some activities that you can do with actions. Now, with this one, with the owl, I did show you, it's called actually White Stork Spreads His Wings. There's another one, which is the Phoenix Spreads His Wings. These are all bird related. So this one goes down and you push down, and then you expand the hands up and open. And then you turn the two fingers into cones, and your right hand sits on top of your left hand like this. Really a fun movement to do. So you have down. So this is covering the lotus leaves. So covering up the flowers so you can't see it. And then you expand the phoenix. So that's a rebirth. That's like creating something new. And then you bring your focus in. So if I was working with kids, with students, right? You have your jewel that you're hiding. That's your secret of who you are that's so special. When you open your wings to share it with the world, then you can focus to be your very best. Okay, so let's try it again. So sink, expand, once in and up. There's a lot going on in the body, spine rotation. That comes from moves that come from a set called Low Cup. And there's a lot going on there, but it's lovely just with the intention of the gifts that you have and then how you can fine tune and place your focus on those gifts. Okay, that's all about animals and actions.